Brian from Apex Detail. In just a few minutes, we're going to be pulling in a new Range Rover. And as I've been explaining in my latest videos, I'm trying to get the point across that the clear coat on these newer vehicles, it's getting softer, it's getting thinner. Not only the clear coat, but all three layers: primer, base coat, clear coat. And I want to stress the importance of that. So today's video, we're going to be concentrating on that, and I'm going to show you how to remove heavy swirling from a tunnel car wash from a brand new clear coat, only 2,000–3,000 miles on the vehicle, without any type of measurable clear coat being picked up from a paint depth gauge. And that's very important, to remove imperfections without removing a ton of clear and protecting it properly afterwards. And then even more important after that, using proper maintenance and wash technique to not put any more scratches in it so it doesn't have to be corrected again. So let's get right into the video. We're working on a gorgeous brand new Range Rover Sport. It has less than 3,000 miles, but the owner takes it through a car wash. So we're going to have the obvious car wash swirls and lines going from the front all the way back to the rear of the vehicle and the back hatch as well. We're going to remove them with just one trip around the vehicle, and that's going to be very important. I hope the camera's picking this up. There's plenty on the hood here as well to remove, some love marks and swirls and scratches, and we're going to take care of that today. The handheld unit from Xshine really helps bring out those imperfections. I really recommend looking into one of those, as well as a few shop lights. You can see it a lot better here on the fender. This is the side where the wraps from those tunnel car washes really squeeze the vehicle, and those fingers with grit on them act as sandpaper and will eventually wear the clear away if you go through them enough. If you have a pass, some of the owners think they really have to take advantage of it and go through the tunnel once or twice a day, and once or twice a month is enough and damages a vehicle. So, all right, let's get to work here. The first thing I want to do is remove anything that the car wash and decontamination, the contact wash we did and the decon didn't take care of. So we'll use Citral 266 out of an aerosol can. You can get it by the gallon and dilute it. It's really kind of hard to find these days. Even online, it's very expensive. I find mine locally at an ag center. You can find them at diesel service shops, anywhere that works on tractors, tractor trailers, or agriculture vehicles. You can find Citral 266. Just a quick tip there. Maybe take a trip around the neighborhood and see what you can find. Down around these areas, I like to use the Goof Off Pro, and this is where you'll find sometimes line paint or tar, anything really that kicks up from the roadways. The Goof Off Pro will remove safely. Flush immediately after, just like when using Citral 266, which means you can spray water or just even get a damp microfiber towel and wipe the area down, removing all residue from these harsh chemicals. Next step, there are some areas in the little nooks and crannies and corners where the wash mitt could not get the surface clean. So I'm just taking a little skewer, wrapping it around the microfiber, spraying a little Citral 266 on that as well, and just cleaning up after the long wash process. It's something I've been doing a lot in my videos lately, just stressing and showing you how thin clear coat is. That's 2 mils. So as we take a measurement of all three layers, we're getting 5.1, sometimes down in the 4 mil range. And that's lower than when we used to take a trip around an older Range Rover 2015, 2010. We used to get about half a mil to a mil higher. So the newer vehicles, they're getting stingy and getting cheaper, holding back on material, base coat, clear coat, and primer. So we really have to be careful. When removing imperfections on a new car, we really changed up our approach, and we're normally going to just do it with one trip around the car, no more 3-4 step corrections. We're also going to take some gloss unit measurements, but I wanted to show you, calibrate all of your machines every time you use them, before you use them, and have them fully charged. You're going to get the most accurate readings from them. So we're going to go around the car, and you can see we're starting in the high 80s, low 90s, and we want to increase that and get up into triple digits. That's always the goal here. This vehicle had a blackout conversion, so the grille and a lot of the plastic trim in and around the vehicle have been removed and blacked out, and some of them put back on. So we want to tape those areas off so we don't bump up against them with a backing plate or pad and damage them. And what I have chosen to protect them is 3M Precision. That is a low profile tape. The adhesive is great. It'll stick onto anything but not pull it back off when you're removing the tape. And with the low profile, you can pass a pad over top of it without lifting an edge and getting that adhesive all over your pad. I guess you can go crazy if you'd like. If you're not worried about overhead and using a ton of masking tape and paper, I've seen some cars taped up like they're doing a complete paint job. You don't have to do that. Just tape off the areas that you do not want to damage, and you can start your correction. And that's it, really. That's everything I wanted to protect. Again, I didn't go absolutely crazy with it, but everything that could have been brushed up against with the backing plate or pad is protected now. All right, we can start the correction. But before we start that correction, I want to get out the prep. Just in case there has been any type of old wax or sealant that maybe the owner applied or trips through that tunnel car wash. A big popular thing now is that hot shine where they dump a lot of hot wax on the car. I don't want that to go up into the pads as I'm correcting. That slows the process down and ruins the pads. I just have to stop and clean them more often. So take a panel prep, go over the vehicle, remove that stuff, and you have a free shot at the clear coat to start correction. With that done, I can start my spot corrections, and that means I can get aggressive in small areas where there's damage like this, deeper scratches. And you could do that many ways. You've seen me doing some wet sanding with 3, 4, 5,000 grit sandpaper. Here I'll just use a pneumatic polisher and the pad of choice for this type of clear coat and a polish that matches. And I'll just go over these areas here. Those deeper scratches are completely removed, and I'm just going to go all the way around the vehicle, and where I find damage like this, it will be taken care of. Here is another area of concern, especially on softer clear coat, and that is bug guts or bug splatter. It eats through that clear coat quickly, especially if you leave it on the paint within the next hour or two of the sun popping up with that bug splatter on the clear coat. It will quickly start to etch and burn into that clear. So we're going to polish that off. It hasn't been there too long, so it's not really that deep. We'll be able to polish that off completely. Some other areas affected: the front of the mirrors here and also the A pillars. With those areas taken care of, we can concentrate on, well, they're not light scratches, but lighter than some of the heavier damage there. And we're going to pick out a combination that works on this type of clear coat. And as always, we're going to do a test area first. We'll grab the Max Shine 21mm throw polisher F601 from Coach Chemi, team that up with a foam polishing pad from Lake Country, and we'll start there. Another quick tip, if you're working on softer clear like this, grab a higher GSM towel with no edges. That'll really help you, save you a lot of time. You don't want to use, hey, the cheaper Kirkland towels or Costco towels, they're fine, but they have their purpose. Maybe harder, stubborn clear coats or stick to interiors or door jambs with them. But on the softer clears, newer vehicles, you want to grab some higher quality towels. All right, this little test area that worked out fine. This is the combination. We're going to go around the whole vehicle and remove those imperfections caused by the tunnel car wash. After half of the hood was complete, I did press the pause button and I grabbed the wheel covers. Those are clean. No use getting dust or some fibers from the pads down onto the wheels, and I have to clean them again. So let's just cover them up. Take just a few short seconds to cover them up and keep them clean. I have the hood completely corrected now. Looks satisfactory to me. But again, this was only the hood. The worst part of it will be down on the sides, the fenders, doors, back quarter panels. So that'll be the true test for this combination. So far, so good, though. And now seems like a good time to hand off to my son. Let him take over so I can sit back and relax a bit. That should do it. Let's see where we stand when it comes to gloss, and we've had a nice big jump so far. I'm happy with that, so we can move on. And I will follow that up with the paint depth gauge to show you that we corrected and turned everything around with hardly any measurable clear coat removed. Next, we'll remove all the masking tape once again and clean up after any adhesive, if any was left behind. Next, we will clean up after our correction. I used forced air to get in between the seams of the panels and any corners, the vents of the grills, and go all the way around the vehicle. Now we can grab the panel prep once again and go around the vehicle and remove any polish residue. Now for my favorite part, the coating. And the chosen coating for today is going to be Extreme Solutions Graphene Infused Ceramic Coating. Let's get to it. And like most coatings, crisscross pattern for application. 2x2 or 3x3 section. This coating actually is very forgiving. You can do half the hood here and have plenty of time to grab your towels and wipe off the transfer solution. Grab two quality microfibers. Use the first one to spread out the product even more. And while you're doing that, you'll pick up most of it. And follow up with the second microfiber and buff to perfection. This is a good angle here, almost a first-person view, so you can see just how easy the coating is to use. Slickness will greatly improve as the coating cures. Within 24 hours or so, the gloss is already there, looking fantastic. And repeat the same process all the way around the vehicle. With the foundation layer curing, and we give it about 4 hours or so, and then we can get to top coat 1.0. That is going to be our hydrophobic and high gloss layer. And it's a two-part system with the foundation and the topper here. This gentleman's going to have protection for a long time to come. This is also easy to use, and just like the foundation layer, the graphene coating, we just repeat the process all the way around the car, and now we can remove the wheel covers. Protection for the wheels will be next anyways. Angel Wax, Enigma, Legacy will be the coating of choice for those wheels. Wheels are now coated and protected, and while they're curing, we can apply a coating on the tire, on the rubber themselves, and that's going to be with Fireball. They call it tire wax. It's just something lost in translation, but it's a tire coating. It contains a little bit of SiO2. This is the old version. They have a new version now, but they are both absolutely fantastic. One matte or one satin finish and one gloss. Another material to be protected on this Range Rover is going to be the glass. We're going to start with the windshield, and it has to be cleaned out properly. Glass is porous, and we need to use the right cleaners and the right scrub pads to get them perfectly clean to apply a coating. For the coating and repellent, we're going to use Tack Systems Raincoat. And now all we do is sit back, enjoy the results, let all of those protectants cure properly. It already looks fantastic, but as the days go by and all of those coatings cure slowly, it'll look better and get slicker. The Extreme Solutions graphene coating is excellent on its own, but when topped with 1.0 from Tax Systems, there's a lot of depth there. Looks like you could dive right into that black lagoon. And now we can put some numbers behind all the gloss we're seeing. We're always shooting for triple digits, and by the time it fully cures, it will easily get there. Okay guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you found a couple of useful nuggets. I want to stress again how important it is to preserve the precious clear coat that these manufacturers are giving us or not giving us. I don't know how I want to put that, because they're really not getting enough clear coat or primer or base coat on cars these days, really cutting back on material. I don't know if it's just, they're pinching their pennies, they're being greedy, or just being cheap, whatever you want to call it. But it's now on us, it's now our job to preserve the clear coat. Not only when we're correcting, but the wise choices we make, protection afterwards. And again, even more importantly, after that, maintenance and our follow-up washes. Our wash routine is going to be huge. It's going to be important. And to never go through a tunnel car wash, I can't stress that enough. If you have any questions on the process and what we use today, don't hesitate. Brian from Apex Detail. I'll catch you in the next video.